What's going on, everyone? I'm Encore. This is Tomorrow Never Comes, and this video is all about have we seen this before? Now, what do I mean by have we seen this before? Well, if you're paying attention to the Bitcoin price, you'll notice that we're back below 19,000 or 20,000 actually. And every time that happens, there's always this, well, Bitcoin's going to 12,000, Bitcoin's going to 3,000, Bitcoin's going to zero. That narrative will not change. The price may change. So in the future, we may have, a Bitcoin at 100K, and when it goes down to 70K, it'll be the same narrative, just at a higher price point. Okay. And I wanted to show something. So first, let's get into kind of where we are today. All right. So you look at today, we're at bottom right here is 19,400. It's kind of where we're sitting. And this is a chart of the daily price point of Bitcoin. Okay, we don't need to get too much into the weeds here, but in just a month ago, we were sitting at around 25,000. We came all the way down to the mid 18,000s. We had a nice little bump up to the 22,000s, and then shot all the way down to the mid 18,000s again. Okay, but one of the best phrases is "when in doubt, zoom out." Right? That's what they say. So look at these prices here where we are. Okay, so we're just, again, 19,000 drifting to 18,000s. Where on this chart do you see the same price points? Well, if we look all the way over to the left here, we're looking at 2020. So think about this. With all that has happened, with countries adopting it, with corporations putting it on their balance sheet, with high net worth individuals jumping in, and lots of adoption coming in through Bitcoin over the last two and a half years or so, but the price point is at the same. And this is where price and fundamentals don't match up. We've had so much happening in the space, so much more adoption and awareness, that to be back to where we were in 2020, to me, these are steal prices. Okay? That's not financial advice, of course. But like I've been in this game for the last 2.5 years now, and the last almost 3 years actually. And the last thing that I can tell you is that we've been at where we were in 2020. I mean, fundamentally, we're just so far beyond that. Okay, and so to have a price that's reflective of 2.5, 3 years ago is insane to me. Insane. But we're going to get into something else too. So there's a drawdown, a lot of panic that happened. So we went 25, 22,000 down to 18. We're going to zero, right? Well, wrong. Has this ever happened before? And that's kind of what I want to share here today. Hold on, I'm going to pull that up for you guys. All right. So this right here is a Bitcoin maximum yearly drawdown. All right. And this is from my go-to for so many sources, and my go-to for being in the space itself is Teeka Tiwari. And he's got a newsletter, subscription based, that's called Palm Beach Research Group. And I subscribe to that. And one of the great things about it is that you'll get a lot of information about historical things when it comes to Bitcoin. Now, I got into Bitcoin and crypto in 2020. So there's 10 years worth of historical data before that I was not aware of and I did not experience. So it's always great, like I said, when in doubt, to zoom out. So here, this is showing the Bitcoin maximum yearly price crashing down. So when it says drawdown, it's how much did it go down over that year. So you guys can see here that there are quite a few bars between 2010 and 2022. So over the last 12 years, going on to 13 years, there's been quite a few drawdowns. I mean, 2010 was around 65%. 2011, we're looking at 90% from its maximum to its lows. That's how much it went down. And then we've got 2012, 15, 18, and 19 of where we have 80% or more. So, and then we're looking at 70% in 2022. So the main thing I want to share here is that you got to look at the big picture. And if you are going to sit here and say that, hey, what Bitcoin was in 2010 is what it is today in terms of its awareness, adoption, and overall acceptance. Okay, now we've got a long way to go, but we've made some good headway. And if you were to look at it and say, hey, look, nothing has changed, and this price just goes up and down randomly, you would be wrong. A lot has changed. And price point, again, does not reflect fundamentals. All of these, when I see this drawdown chart, all I see is every single year, there was a great opportunity to accumulate more. That's all I see. So maybe you guys see an asset that does not need to be invested in. I don't. It's the opposite. I see moments within every year where you can accumulate much more and then have a much bigger return based on when you accumulate. So that's what I see. I see opportunity. And like, I just can't stress enough Bitcoin's adoption. I mean, we've got Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, who will say Bitcoin is a commodity. It is not a security. Everything else is a security. So what does that mean? Is that when regulation comes into the picture, more so than it is now, there's going to be a lot more scrutiny on anything that's considered a security as opposed to a commodity, which is left alone. Now, ETH was a commodity. ETH has now transitioned to proof of stake instead of proof of work. And that automatically kind of puts it in this whole security bucket. That's the narrative anyway. So Bitcoin is the gold standard, the digital gold standard. It's the king of the jungle. As it moves, everything else moves. But it's also one of the most protected in terms of everybody leaves it alone. It is what it is. And it just continues to appreciate year after year, 4-year cycle after 4-year cycle. So I wanted to share this, where we are today, all the panic, every time it dips down. We're so focused on a narrow period of time, right? Whether it's week, whether it's day to day, whether it's in the last 4 hours, 12 hours, everything is like such high panic mode that when you start to really delve into the fundamentals and you look at the historical data that I showed, 2010 to 2022, I mean, there have been significant drawdowns, 90%. That's literally, you would be closer to being right about it going to zero than anything else. And it's always found a way back, not even just back to where it was, but all-time highs and all-time highs, okay? Again, the price point does not reflect the fundamentals. Like, even if Bitcoin were 50,000 now, I would say it is undervalued because how strong the fundamentals are around it. So I hope you guys found value in this video. All I want to share with you guys is zoom out. Don't feed into the panic, the fear, the uncertainty, the doubt that they push on you. Remember, these institutions, they don't want to come in at a price point that's 60,000, 70,000. They want to come in when it's 15,000, 18,000, 20,000 and accumulate as much as possible. Because remember, there are only 21 million Bitcoin. Only. This is not something, it's not like US dollar where it's printed ad nauseum without any restraint. It's not like that. Only 21 million. So these institutions, they understand scarcity will also add to the value of just the network effects and the fundamentals for Bitcoin. So they will scoop out as much as they can at a price point that they want. So don't let them fool you. This is our time to accumulate an asset class that can change, literally can change not only our present day fortune or wealth, but for generations to come. It's an absolute paradigm shift. And I want to stress that with you guys. Zoom out, do your own research, look into it, see what the fundamentals are, see how the network is growing and the adoption is growing, and then look at where the price is historically. Unbelievable opportunity from my perspective. You guys have to do your own research and come to your own conclusion. So guys, if you found value in this video, smash the like button. That would do great for this video and for the channel itself. And just remember, do your own research. Take action though. Take action and invest in yourself today. And I'll see you guys in the next video.